Welcome back to In Judy's Kitchen. I'm Judy Walker. I'm food editor at NOLA.com and times-picayune.
And I'm Diya Chacko. I'm the search engine optimization producer at NOLA.com and times-picayune. And today we're making grits and grillades.
And
what are grillades?
My sister asked me that question. What's a grillade? It's a French term that means a little piece of fried meat. In New Orleans, it's a breakfast dish. This is the first breakfast or brunch dish that we have done. And it's basically a little slab, a little tiny piece of round steak, or it can be veal, or people even make pork grillades. But anyway, you pound out and cut this into small pieces. This is a very thrifty dish. And then you cook it in a beautiful braise with the Trinity, which we've got here, and tomatoes and a wine and beef broth sauce. And we're going to flour it. It's got all our classic New Orleans flavors in it. We'll talk more about that later. And we're going to make Gruyere cheese grits to go on it. So we'll talk more about the grits when we move over to the stove. So we got our boiling water here, and we're preparing the grits according to package directions. Look at them foam up. Okay, just take it off, Diya, stirring. And we're just going to cook and stir these pretty continuously over high heat until they get thick. And I used a couple of different kinds in testing these recipes, and this is the Dixie Lily Regional Yellow Corn Grits that we used a whole package of, and these are very good. And then I bought the organic Bob's Red Mill polenta corn grits because polenta and corn grits are virtually the same thing. I'm not sure, but I think maybe they take the corn germ out of the grits, so it'll sit longer on your shelf, whereas the polenta might have that in it, so it'll be more nutritious. But basically they're the same thing, and you can use grits just like you use rice as a base for anything. This was what the Italians do with the polenta for sauces and stuff. So we're to the point where we can add the cheese. The grits have thickened up as they're cooking.
Not this thick.
Yeah, that's good. So we're going to add the cheese. Diya's going to stir in the grated cheese, a couple of cups.
Look at all that cheese.
And of course some butter.
Oh yeah, butter. Can't forget the butter.
And you know us. But for us, this is just a tad of butter.
It's not that much compared to what we usually put in here.
And we're going to add some Crystal hot sauce and black pepper. And she's going to keep stirring this to release the heat. You can see all the vapor coming off of it. That means it's still really hot. This stuff's kind of like lava. And when it gets to be, when it's not giving off so much vapor, then we're going to add the eggs, and we're going to turn it into a casserole dish. And then when you're ready to serve the grits, you start baking this 20-25 minutes until the top is just lightly brown. Okay, just to hurry things along here, we're going to go ahead and add the eggs. They're going to help thicken it up as it cooks, but just it's probably cool enough now it won't cook the eggs as we put them in there. These eggs are, you want to beat them up really well before you put them in here. And then we're going to, as soon as you get that all mixed in, we're going to put it in here.
Okay.
Looking good?
Yeah.
Looks good to me. And of course I coated this with Pam. So you can just dish this out. So there you go. Let's start putting it in there. Okay, so here we have just some oil heated in the bottom of our gumbo pan. Big heavy bottom pot. And we put a test piece in there and it's starting to sizzle. So we're going to just add these little floured pieces to the pot. And Diya is going to, she cut them like about this big, and we're going to,
once they're brown on the bottom, we'll flip them over.
With the tongs, and then we're going to put them onto this paper towel, and we're going to add them to the sauce later. So Diya has cooked all our meat. She's just lightly browned it on both sides, and if you try this right now, it's very chewy, okay? But when it's cooked, you can cut it with a fork, right?
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen is, see that beautiful fond in the bottom of the pot? That oil and the brown cooked on part is all going to dissolve in the sauce and thicken it up just beautifully.
And that's why you don't need a roux.
That's why we don't need a roux. Okay, here it comes. regular bell pepper, celery, onions, garlic. Okay, so Diya's got the nice cooked down trendy here with the garlic, and so we're going to add the liquid parts. This is basically a can of tomatoes, diced tomatoes, just plain. And this is bay leaves, thyme, Worcester sauce,
and wine.
So our broth mixture has come to a boil, and we're going to add the meat. Then we are going to put the lid on, turn it down to a bare simmer, well, an okay simmer, and cook it for an hour. So, it's the moment of truth.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, this has got the parsley in it that we stirred in. And first we're going to have a little bit of the grits in our bowls. Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited for these cheese grits.
I know, you're more excited about this than the grillades. And you saw how easy they were.
Yeah.
It's like a nothing to it dish. And that was making them, that's not minute grits.
No, it's not like the kind I make in the microwave.
So, but now you feel like you could really make these at home.
Yeah.
Here, let's give you one with like less. Here.
Thank you.
You didn't want a big one. Okay. Here we go. It's pretty hot. Blow on it. And you can cut it with a fork, with my spoon, just like that.
Ooh,
Is it hot?
that's so good.
Is it hot?
It's just hot enough.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Mmm. Mmm. So there you go. That's your grits and grillades. New Orleans brunch, New Orleans breakfast, New Orleans carnival
After
season.
debutante ball.
Or carnival season treat. So, but people do make it all year round. Be assured, make this anytime you want. Thank you so much for stopping by today, for sticking with us through the Judy's Kitchen, and come back in a couple of weeks.
See you guys later.